Morning, welcome to
Math Problems number 101.
Math Problems number 101. So today, actually for our just regular class time, we ended up having an awesome talk about this fraction. 18 over 27 to the minus fourth.
Yeah.
And you worked really hard on that, didn't you?
Yeah. So
for our movie, we'll do a fun thing you've never seen before.
Sure.
Okay? Sorry, I'm an inch away from sneezing here. So we're going to look at this series of fractions. Are you ready?
Yes.
1 plus a half, plus a third, plus a fourth, plus a fifth, plus a sixth, plus a seventh, plus an eighth, plus
all the way to infinity.
All the way up to infinity. Whoa. Now, when you're trying to sum up fractions, what do you usually try to do?
You usually try to simplify.
Yeah, but these are all pretty simplified.
Yeah, because they're all ones on the top.
They're all ones on the top. Okay, so the first thing is always try to simplify. Good job. What's the next thing you do when you're trying to add or subtract fractions?
You try to find a common denominator, but
Yes.
there's infinite numbers.
Ooh. So a common denominator is going to be pretty big, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. Oh, well. Yeah, so, tricky. Should do your pondering? Ponder. So this is really cool. There's a really cool idea here. Okay? We're going to leave the 1 all by itself. Okay?
Just the one.
We're going to leave the half all by itself.
Then.
Okay, but we're going to find an interesting relationship here. Is 1/3 bigger than 1/4, or is 1/3 less than a fourth?
It's bigger.
Okay, so this series up here will be bigger than if I put a fourth plus a fourth here.
Yeah.
Right?
It would be bigger.
Because I turned this 1/3 into a 1/4, making it smaller.
Yeah, and then if you turn the 1/5 into a sixth, it would be smaller even more.
That's true. But instead, for these, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn them all into an eighth. Okay, is 1/5 bigger than an eighth or less than an eighth?
It's bigger.
Bigger. So if I turn it into an eighth, this will be
smaller.
And if I turn the 6th into an eighth,
it would be smaller again.
If I turn the 7th into an eighth,
that would be smaller again.
And what happens if I turn the 8th into an eighth?
Stay the same.
Stay the same. Okay. So, and the next thing I'm going to compare it to is a 16th.
You turn 8 of them into 16ths.
Right. There will be 8 1/16ths. Very good. Good noticing. And then after that, we'll keep going with 30 seconds.
64s and all the powers of 2.
Okay. Now let's see what we have with this series down here. 1 plus a half and a fourth plus a fourth. What's that?
That's gonna. It's gonna be 2/4.
Which is also known as?
It's 1/2.
1/2.
Hey, but it's gonna add all up to be halves.
Okay, what's this gonna be? An eighth plus an eighth plus an eighth plus an eighth.
Well, an eighth plus an eighth is 2/8, which is 1/4, and there's 2 of them, and 2 1/4 makes a half.
Okay.
So that's a half.
What about 8/16? What's that going to be?
A half. So you're all adding up halves.
Okay. This series down here, which we said, was this series less than this one? Or was it bigger than this one?
We said it was less.
Okay, so this one's less than. This series is smaller than this series. But this series that's smaller adds up to 1 plus a half plus a half plus a half plus a half. What am I going to get when I add up an infinite number of 1/2s?
You're going to get infinity. You're going to get half of infinity.
Half of infinity, which is also...
That's infinity.
It's also infinity. So this series adds up to infinity. But it's smaller than this series. So what does this series have to add up to?
It's going to be bigger than infinity, but nothing's bigger than infinity.
So it must just be infinity.
They're the same.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
This series adds up to infinity, even though the numbers get super, super small.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, but we said this one was small, but they're the same.
Well, they end up being the same infinity.
Yeah. But if there's something bigger than infinity, then that one would be that one.
Interesting. Pretty neat, right?
Yeah.
So you want to see something else that's really cool?
Sure.
Just for fun. When I take only some of these numbers, I'm going to take only the squares. 1 plus a fourth.
Plus a 9.
Plus a 9.
Plus a 16.
16th.
25.
Plus a 25th. So I'm only taking some of these numbers?
Yeah.
You know what this adds up to? pi squared over 6.
Huh.
Oh,
But it doesn't add up to infinity.
it does not add up to infinity. This one's much less than infinity.
Wow.
But there's a pi in it.
Hmm.
Where did the pi come
I
from?
don't know.
I don't know either. You know who figured this out? A mathematician named Euler.
Hmm.
Pretty neat. Pi squared over 6.
Awesome.
Awesome. So there's some really, it's not just the things we've been doing with fractions, but there's some really neat math with fractions.
Yeah.
Pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
All right, good job today, huh?